may be, Woody Allen, David Mamet, Quentin Tarantino, Ruth Prowler Jabala, Oliver Stone, Zhuang Zhimou, Nora Ephron, Spike Lee, you admire them because they're unique. Each has stepped out of the crowd because he or she selects a content like no one else, designs a form like no one else, combining the two into a style unmistakably their own. I want the same for you. Imagine, in one global day, the pages of prose turned, plays performed, films screened, the unending stream of television, comedy, and drama, 24-hour print and broadcast news, bedtime tales told to children, barroom bragging, internet, back-fence gossip, mankind's insatiable appetite for stories. We tell and take in stories as much as we sleep, and even then we dream. Why is so much of our life spent inside stories? Because stories are equipment for living. Our appetite for story is a reflection of the profound human need to grasp the patterns of life, not merely as an intellectual exercise, but within a very personal, emotional experience. In the words of playwright Jean Anouilh, fiction gives life its form. Yet, while the ever-expanding reach of the media now gives us the opportunity to send stories beyond borders and languages to hundreds of millions, the overall quality of storytelling is eroding. Each year, Hollywood produces and/or distributes 400 to 500 films, virtually a film a day. Few are excellent, but the majority are mediocre or worse. Hollywood cannot find better material than it produces. The hard-to-believe truth is that what we see on the screen each year is a reasonable reflection of the best writing of the last couple years. Why? For many reasons, but this above all. Today's would-be writers rush to the typewriter without first learning their craft. If your dream were to compose music, would you say to yourself, I've heard a lot of symphonies, I can also play the piano, I think I'll knock one out this weekend? Of course not. You'd head for music school to study both theory and practice, focusing on the genre of symphony. After years of diligence, you'd merge your knowledge with your creativity, flex your courage, and venture to the keyboard. But that's exactly how many novice writers begin. I've seen a lot of flicks, good and bad. I got A's in English. Vacation time's coming. So they plunge in, counting solely on experience, thinking that the life they've lived and the films they've seen give them something to say and a way to say it. What they mistake for technique is simply the unconscious absorption of story elements from every novel, film, or play they've ever encountered. But unconsciously ingrained perceptions are not, in any sense, technique, and lead to screenplays clogged with cliches of the commercial or art house variety. In short, they lack a writer's education. Early in the first half of this century, teachers of creative writing, such as William Archer, Kenneth Rowe, and John Howard Lawson, taught an intrinsic understanding of story, drawing strength from the big muscle movements of desire, forces of antagonism, turning points, spine, progression, crisis, climax, stories seen from the inside out. Over the last 25 years, however, the method of teaching creative writing in American universities has reversed from the intrinsic to the extrinsic. Trends in literary theory have drawn professors away from the deep sources of story toward language, codes, social context, story seen from the outside. As a result, the young writer leaves the university with a sophisticated knowledge of his professional role in society, but an unfortunate ignorance of the craft needed to carry it out. While the lack of craft is critical, today we suffer from yet another cause for the decline of story. As we'll learn later, values, the positive-negative charges of life, are at the soul of our art. The writer shapes story around a perception of what's worth living for, what's worth dying for, what's foolish to pursue, what's love, justice, truth, the essential values. In decades past, it wasn't difficult to express one's beliefs because the writer and society more or less agreed on these questions. But more and more, ours has become an age of moral and ethical cynicism, relativism, and
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.